We are almost done with our week of tier list. If you were not aware, for this entire week, we are going to be doing a tier list every single day. If you've been missing out on tier list and if you've been missing out on all of the tier lists for this week, then go ahead and check the channel and also links in the description. And I'm probably going to make this a playlist because that sounds fun. So I'll probably make a playlist of all my tier lists, to be honest. But that being said, welcome to the day 6. And today we're going to be doing how good of friends survivors would be in real life. And once again, I have forgotten to, before recording, because I am bad at this, relabel these. So we're going to say besties, can call them whenever. Hang out occasionally. Yeah, I know them. Can't stand them. Do we add another tier between these two? Yeah. Yeah. Don't like them and fucking hate their guts. Okay. There we go. So yeah, there we go. So you got besties, can call them whenever, hang out occasionally. Yeah, I know them, don't like them, and fucking hate their guts. This is based off personality. I have not read the lore of like, I'd say 99% of these characters. So I'm basing this off of vibes. I can already tell this is going to go extremely well. Dwight, I can't stand timid people. Timid people irritate the fucking shit out of me. That's cruel. It's not that I don't like timid people like in general. I hate people who are like always nervous about every like thing in general. It's kind of, I'm trying to figure out a way to put this without making all my introverts feel bad. I don't like it. I don't like it when people make their nervousness your problem. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to hang out with them or talk to them or something like that, and they're just always like they're like always like like just shaking and they're like looking around like they're paranoid. And it's like, bro, what do you do? Like you're making me anxious through your anxiousness, right? Like I'm trying not to like make introverts feel bad because like I am on some level an introvert. I'm more of an extrovert than an introvert. I just don't like when people like make their nervousness everybody else's fucking problem. You know what I mean? And that's how Dwight is, because it's Dwight. Next up is Meg. Yeah, I know her. I know Meg. She's the athletic friend who keeps trying to get me to go work out. And every time her name comes out in comes up in conversation, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, she's probably like running another marathon or something." And I just want to be fat and happy. I don't want to fucking starve myself and run every goddamn day of my life. And that's what she tries to make me do. Next up is Claudette. I feel like I can call Claudette whenever. Claudette is like, Claudette's autistic and is very obsessed with plants. And, I like people like that. I, I like autistic. I am autistic. If you couldn't tell, I just like people who are very passionate about like one thing and are really ready to just spill their guts out to you about that thing like over and over again. Um, so it's just I feel like Claudette would be one of those people I just love being around in general. Next up is Jake. Jake's a very nature oriented guy. I feel like I would hang out with Jake occasionally. He'd call me up like every like couple of months and be like, "Hey, bro, you trying to like grab a pizza or something?" Like, yeah, I'll come with you. And then he'll tell me like his camping stories or his hiking stories or something like that. Then we got Nay. Nay is a little hooligan, and I like hooligans. I think I like people who like stick to the streets and enjoy being a royal pain in the ass to capitalistic society. So yeah, you know, I'll give that to Nay. Nay's cool people. Next up is Lori. I'd be besties with Lori. Anybody who could stare down Myers multiple times over the years and completely kick their fucking ass. That's my kind of person. You stared face in the danger. You stared danger in the you stared face in the danger. You stared danger in the face and you were ready to tussle, you were ready to get for it, and you absolutely did it. You fucking did it. You absolute badass goddess. Now protect me from these bikers that I pissed off. Next up is Ace. I worked in a casino for 3.5 years. I hate gamblers. They irritate the fucking shit. Like, I don't hate people who gamble. I hate gamblers. I hate chronic gamblers. They are irritating as all living hell. They never stop telling you about all their life problems that would be solved if they just stopped fucking gambling. They get chronic gamblers will throw down thousands of dollars almost every single night and they complain they don't have money. Like, I just can't stand it. Next up, we've got Bill. Bill's a tough old dude. I don't feel like I would like Bill in real life. Bill's that old boomer dude who thinks spanking children is acceptable and will try to tell you over and over again about how he worked for everything he had and he doesn't understand why people want more money to quote unquote flip burgers or whatever. Bill is just one of those really, really annoying boomers, and I don't hate them, but I'm very, very close. Next up is Fung. I actually don't know anything about Fung's lore. Yeah, I know her. I feel like I would just know Fung. I would hear her name occasionally, and that'd be about it. Next up is David. David's one of my besties. David is one of those gay guys who everybody is shocked to find out is gay, and which is weird because he dresses like a gay man. But David is also one of those dudes that never backs down, and I like people like that. I like people who don't back down from physical confrontation. I like people who stand their ground, stand for what they believe in, and that's definitely the kind of person David is. Next up is Quentin. Quentin is I don't like him. Quentin's that nice guy who can't stop lusting after the girl who's already told him no. Quentin's always like really, really nervous and like, oh my, did you hear that Sally Mae might like me? No, dude, she doesn't like you. She said so multiple times already. Would you quit having pictures of her in your locker? For fuck's sakes, dude. Holy crap, before I punch you. Next up is Detective Tapp. Tapp and I hang out occasionally. He has a cop. But he's a fictional cop, right? He's not a real life cop. He's one of those cops that like actually does their fucking job. So yeah, Tapp and I would hang out occasionally for sure. Kate and I would be besties. She would be the kind of person to be like, I wrote a new song. Are you ready to hear it? And I'd be like, yes, I am fucking ready to hear it. You play me that song. You play me that music. I cannot wait to sit here and listen. Next up would be Adam. Adam could call me whenever. Adam's a cool dude. Adam is really chill. I think Adam is one of those guys that like, when he makes you feel, when he's talking to you, he makes you feel wanted and accepted. I don't know what the hell happened there. My phone just started making noise. He makes you feel wanted and accepted. And it's just generally speaking, he's one of those guys who, you can always take the time to hang out with and call every once in a while. Next up is Jeff. Jeff and I would be besties. Jeff is the kind of guy to like sit in a room and draw and blare music. And he's one of those people that just enjoys your presence, right? Like you don't necessarily have to have a conversation. You don't necessarily have to, you guys don't have to necessarily be doing anything. He's one of those guys that just really enjoys your presence, and that's what matters to him. Next up is Jane. Jane can call me whenever. Jane is one of those people who I think is just kind of like Adam. She cares about people. She makes you feel wanted, loved, cared for. She's that friend that you can lean on. Jane's really good. Next up is Ash. Ash is Ash is someone I'd hang out with occasionally. Ash's lifestyle a little bit too intense for me. I couldn't be around Ash for a long time, right? He's always on the go. He's got that Thor from the first Thor movie personality. He drinks, he yells, he smashes glasses, and you're sitting there like, what is this guy fucking doing? Please calm the fuck down, my guy. He's one of those people who'd be a little bit too much. A little bit too much. I know nothing about Nancy and Steve, but based off their vibes, I'd know Nancy, and I hang out occasionally with Steve. Maybe. We'd find out. Next up is Yui. Yui would be one of my besties. Everything Nay is to capitalist socialist society, Yui is more. Yui is her own person. She's independent. She's hard-headed. She also shows incredible maturity in her lore. I watched Pixel Bush's breakdown of her lore. She also shows incredible maturity. She's just one of those people that's just really gung-ho, really fun to be around. She'll show you how to ride a motorcycle, fix a motorcycle. She'll take you out on places. Love Yui. Next up is Zarina. Zarina would definitely be one of my besties. I love freedom fighters. I love people who stand up for what's right, like I said, with David, and Zarina is the epitome of that, so absolutely top tier, love Zarina. I don't know much about Cheryl. I'll just put her in the I know him category, you know. Next up is Felix, and I don't like Felix. I don't like guys who think too much of themselves. You know, Felix really seems like that kind of dude. Again, I don't know much about the lore, but Felix really seems like that kind of dude who's just always got to tell you, about the new suit he's bought and how, how much better he is at blah, blah, blah. He's one of those guys that one-ups you a lot, You have some good news happen to you and he's got to come back behind you and one-up you. Next up is Elodie. Elodie would be one of those people I could call call whenever. I think Elodie's vibe is just what Elodie reminds me of, like vibe-wise, because again, I don't really know her lore. You know what she reminds me of vibe-wise? She reminds me of those really sweet old black women who call you baby all the time, right? She's one of those old black women who will like hype up every minor accomplishment you have just to make you feel like you're on top of the fucking world, right? Like if you went to Elodie and you were like, guess what, Elodie? I lost 1 pound this week. She would make it seem like you just won a Nobel fucking Peace Prize. That's the kind of person Elodie is. Actually, Elodie would be one of my besties for sure. Next up is Yoon Jin. Fucking hate her guts. Yoon Jin's a very selfish person, is willing to leave behind everybody else to save her own fucking skin. She's just an absolutely atrocious individual. Don't like being around her. Don't like being where she's at. If I'm going to a party and she's there, I'm no longer going to that party. If I walk into a grocery store and see her at the other end of the aisle, I'm driving across town. Fuck Yoon Jin. Next up is Jill. Okay, I know Jill. And Leon and I hang out occasionally. He tells me about his zombie slaying adventures. I get it. I'm down for it. Yeah. Next up is Michaela. Michaela would be one of my besties. I love witch women. I don't believe in like Wiccan culture and all of that stuff, but listening to them talk about it is just so fun. So yeah, I think Michaela would be one of my besties. Jonah's a reporter. Jonah might actually be one of my besties, to be real with you. I would love listening to all the shit Jonah's getting into as a reporter, like just listening to all the crap he gets into. I would just love to hear it. I would call him like every day. All right, dude, would you fucking work on the date? What's going on, man? That kind of stuff. Next up is Yuichi. I'd hang out with Yuichi occasionally. I think hearing him talk about his dead parents would get a little bit irritating. I understand it. My dad died and I talk about him from time to time, but Yuichi's one of those people that like brings them up every conversation. And it's like, dude, look, I love you and I'm sorry that you went through a lot of trauma and everything, but you're bringing me down, man. You gotta live life a little. You don't need to bring them up every conversation, man. Actually, they go in the I know him. Next up is Hattie. Hattie would go in the can call them whenever. Hattie would be one of my besties. Hattie would be someone I would greatly enjoy talking to about like actual magic and paranormal investigation. Yeah, Hattie would be one of my besties. Next up is Ada. I feel like I could call Otto whenever. You know who Otto would be? Otto's that really hot, um, Otto's that really hot female friend who's like had a steady boyfriend for like 7 years, and occasionally she sees you down because you're single or whatever, so she tries to cheer you up by complimenting you. And like there's nothing there, and you accept, you're not crushing on her or anything, but the fact that she's a hot woman who's complimenting you just helps, and she knows that. You know what I mean? So she's definitely one of those people I think would she's definitely one of those people I think would just be just a joy to have around, just a, next up is Rebecca. I don't like Rebecca. I don't like this. I don't like this high bop attitude. Why are you so fucking positive about everything? That always gives me worry. Like, you never have a bad thought ever. I don't know about that. I fucking hate you, honestly. You never like ever have a bad thought. You're just always chipper, always on top of everything. Really? That's how we are. I don't like you. Next up would be Vittorio. I'd hang out with Vittorio occasionally. I think hearing stories of his life would be interesting. How long he's been in the fog would be kind of cool, but I just don't think it'd be enough to be, a bestie. Next up would be Thalita and Renato. These would be two people I could call whenever. And most of the time, if you're hanging out with one of them, you're hanging out with the other one. I'd hear about their times at the beach, and they would even get me out of the house every once in a while and get me out to the beach for fun and relaxation and stuff like that. And yeah, I really think I can call them whenever. Next up is Gabriel. I don't like Gabriel. I feel like he would talk. I feel like he'd be very similar to Yuichi, where like every conversation would be about his failed mission, and it would just be like, dude, can we just talk about like video games or something, like for once? Like for once, like, and it would be like, I understand Yuichi because it's dead parents, but like Gabriel, it's like, bro, it's a bunch of people you just met like 3 days prior. Like, I feel like, it's a traumatic experience, and I get that, but I feel like you should get some fucking therapy. Next up would be Nicolas Cage. It's just the real life Nicolas Cage. Who would not want to hang out with the real life Nicolas Cage? I implore you to tell me who would not want to hang out with the real life Nicolas Cage. Next up would be Ripley. Here's a fun fact for you guys. Ellen Ripley is my favorite female horror movie protagonist of all time. So yeah, Ripley would be my bestie. Ripley is my lesbian best friend, who we go out to bars with and ogle women together, and then we go home and eat pizza and play video games. Yeah, that's Ripley. Next up is Alan. I can call Alan whenever. Of everybody here who's like really kind and caring, Alan's gonna be there for you when you most need it. Alan is that guy. Alan's always there for you. Alan's ready to hop in his truck at a moment's notice at 3 a.m. to come get you from the side of the road. Alan's that guy. Finally, we have Sable. And that's what that is for that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's tier list. We only have one more day of tier list to go. Tomorrow is Survivor's Most Likely to BM, so that's going to be really interesting to think about. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you didn't, I'm sorry. But if you did, let me know down below what you guys think. And outside, I'm sure I'm going to get some corrections on like lore bits. There's probably going to be some people that are like, actually, and I get that. That's fine. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member and get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.